Get that podium back so I can hear you, please.
Great speech, Ashley.
Well done. Shirley. Very good, Ash. Belinda.
Thanks, Coop. You really screwed that story up. First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for turning up today. It's a very warm welcome in many ways. It's really touching to see so many here present and turning up for this function. I'm terribly proud of this statue. Hazel, you're incredible.
Yeah.
The amount of work that Hazel has put into this project, I'm amazed that they're still married, Ian and Hazel. But the community have stepped up behind Hazel, and I have fond memories of this showground, and I think all the crows and magpies are looking forward to this statue. And hopefully a lot of tourists. And thank you very much for... I haven't seen it yet, so I better hold it off for a while. It's great to have... well, you all know Joy here on the end. Joy, stand up so they can get a look at it. I married Joy when she was very young. I didn't want her to get away. And so we've had been married 57 years, and it just seems like the first day we were married. Isn't that nice? I'm right tonight. And I have my two sisters here. Hazel, could you stand up? Give her a hand there. Hazel. And Daphne, there. Come on, Daphne. Good. I know there are a lot of people here that went to the Nuku State School. I know you're probably all too old to stand up. But at least, could you put your hand up? Who went to school at Nuku? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hazel, you went to school there. Put your hand up. 5, 7, 8. I know the school was small, but there must be more. 9, 10. Great. I'm very proud of the museum over here too, and I don't think I really deserve this statue. I think there are more deserving people who need it here, but I'll take it. I'd like to thank Wendy and Ash and Mal for coming on up, and they're great friends, and we've not only played together but competed against each other. Wendy, what year was it that you were part of the Boston?
Well, the year I was supposed to be?
Yes.
77.
The year she was supposed to be with the Boston Lobsters. 77. We had a very strong team, and as a result, unfortunately, Wendy couldn't stay.
Was it my fault?
Well, we got rid of her.
I'll tell a completely different story. They wanted Martina Navratilova instead.
Yes. It was between Wendy and Martina Navratilova. So.
And at the time, I was.
I'd like to tell some stories a little bit about Mal. We travelled together a lot when we were young, and he was my doubles partner for a number of years until he found someone better. But when we travelled overseas, we looked a little alike in those days. And when we hadn't seen people for 12 months, we had all the trouble in the world of people coming up to me saying, hello, Mal, how you going? And rather than embarrass them and say, no, I'm Roy, not Mal, and vice versa, Mal had the same problem. So we said, okay, while we're here at the US Open, whoever comes up, let's just let it be Mal. And so they'd come up and I'd talk, and I'm Mal, you know, nice to see you. So Mal won the American Championships that year against Ashley Cooper. Well, actually it was against Dick Savard. No? Was Coop? Oh, you couldn't beat Dick? You did beat Dick. On the semis, right, okay. Yeah, so Mal was unseeded, beating Coop in the final, and they had a court next to the stadium, which was where people walked by after the matches were finished. And I was practicing on this court, and Mal, I didn't want to watch Mal, and Coop was pretty boring. So I needed some work on my game, and I'm practicing, and people are going by, and they said, and they started to stop, and then they asked me a question. Are you Mal Anderson? And I said, yeah. And they said, didn't you just win the United States Championship? Yes. And what are you doing out here? And I said, I wasn't satisfied with my game. So then when I went up to the dressing room, and they had a bar up at the dressing room and cold beer on the tap. And everyone's congratulating me. Well done, Mal. Well done. Can I buy you a beer? So it wasn't until about 5 or 6 beers later that Mal came up after the press conference down in the stadium. So I was happy Mal won the championship. Now this is a player that should be recognised here in Queensland.
Here, here.
It's badly needed. He's one of the greatest ambassadors Australia has ever had overseas, and what a tennis game. So we need to get Mal on the books. Badly needed. Yep, Mal's saying no. But it's true. So I think that's next in line, did you think? Or are you taking a holiday?
See Mark.
Okay. Ashley Cooper. Travelling with Ash was incredible. He's a fitness freak. I tried to get fit, and he honoured me saying I was the fittest player in playing tennis. But you should have seen Ashley Cooper. I tried to keep up with him.
Oh, yeah.
I did. But I think some of the young players today should have Hopman as a Davis Cup captain with a little bit of discipline. When Ashley and I travelled in the Davis Cup team, we were really orange squeezes, and the 2 leading players on our Davis Cup team were Ken Rosewall and Lou Hode. And in England they had a lot of Bobby Soxers that were in love with Ken and Lou. And every day we'd have to go to the kiosk outside, orders from Hopman, and buy 100 or 200 photos of Ken and 200 photos of Lou, and we were answering all their fan mail. Every night. That's what we did. We sat down, opened all the letters for Ken and Lou, we tossed to see which name we would sign. I lost the toss. I got Ken Rosewall, which was a lot more letters than Lou Hope. So that's our experience travelling in 1954. One experience I'd like to relate to you. I had the good fortune of weeing against the porcelain with General Montgomery. Now, a lot of you haven't had that chance. It was 1954, and a lot of the dignitaries that came to Wimbledon didn't have special bathrooms, so they used the men's or the women's change rooms. And so when I stepped up to the porcelain, I didn't know what to say because I was very shy and 17 years of age. But he wasn't very big. Tall. Now we had Hazel and Daphne and I, we had great parents, and being brought up on a farm was a great education and gave me a lot of good work ethic. And it was my job to round up the cows morning and night. And sometimes I'd wake in the morning and it'd be frosty and very cold. But I never wore any shoes until I was about 14. And I'd look to see where the cows were and choose whether or not to go to get the horse or just take the dogs and round them up barefooted. So I was a bit lazy this day, and I said I'd race across the railway line and gather up 80 cows and on foot. Well, my feet were getting frostbitten, and I couldn't wait for the next cow to raise its tail and do its business. And I'd race over into that and stand in the cow dung, and it was like heaven. So I made my way home from cow dung to cow dung so that I wouldn't get frostbitten. True story. I have fond memories of the showgrounds here because we used to have a schoolboys turnout where you would come in with your horse and you had your school bag on your back and you'd be judged with the best turnout and you'd have to go over the jumps. Well, the Alry brothers, is there anyone related to Kevin and Alry here?
That's my brother-in-law's father.
That's your... Really?
Yep. My sister married an Alry.
Oh, good.
Kevin's son, John.
Well, anyway...
I'm not from Blackbutt, though.
You're not from Blackbutt, yeah. Okay. Nanango.
Yeah, close enough.
Close. Anyway, Titbits, which was our horse that we rode all the time, was a bit old to go over the jumps. So Kevin and Alf says, I've got a Brumby here that you can ride, and that'll be great. He'll go over the jumps without any problem. So we turn up, and there's about 10 of us. The judge asked us to walk around slowly while he inspected the horse and also your outfit and the school bag on the back. And then he waved to me and he says, why don't you head off and go around the jumps? And you're supposed to go a certain pace between every hurdle. Well, I was pretty young and this is a Brumby I'm riding. We took the first jump okay, but then his head got out and I needed a curved bit to get it back, but I wasn't strong enough, and that horse jumped over all the jumps at full gallop. So by the time I pulled the horse off the jumps and went past the judge, he says, "Hey son, that's not a school horse. Get out of here." Another story on Coop. He was a lousy card player.
Oh, here we go. This one's not true.
We travelled and played some exhibitions for the Australian Lawn Tennis Association to help pay our way around the world. And we're on a train trip that's taking about 12-15 hours through Europe. And I had a packet of cards, and we started playing gin. And he wasn't with 500 too, but there was we played a lot of that too, Mal. And Coop was a lousy loser. And after losing quite a few hands, it was his turn to shuffle, so he just threw the whole lot out the window. So now we've got to talk to each other for the rest of the trip. But the smartest thing Coop did, he spent a lot of time in lifts. He loved to ride up and down lifts. And when he was in a lift one day, who should jump in but Helen?
I only did that while Helen was in the hotel.
Oh, that's while Helen was in the hotel. Anyway, fortunately he met Helen in the lift, and I'm not sure if they got stuck or not, but they finished up being married. Miss Australia Helen Woods back then. Now, usually I look to Joy to say, well, you better stop now. Beg your pardon? Kratz is the man.
I'm not going to tell Roy.
Okay. Okay, I think you have a great program here, still to go, but I could talk on for ages. But I thank all my friends and relatives for coming up today, supporting me here. I have a friend who read an ad on YouTube where there was a prize for the person who came from the longest distance to come to Blackbutt today. The prize was a kiss on the lips. And so our friend from Zurich flew in yesterday from Zurich. Babelina, can you stand up? Is there anyone who has come further than that today or not? She started off in Spain, went to Zurich, dropped off the dog, and dropped off her mother, and then caught a plane to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong to Brisbane. And we couldn't find out what time she arrived because she didn't want us to pick her up. Got in at 6:22 in the morning. But terrific effort, Babelina. Well, I thank everybody in the community and all the sponsors that gave money to this statue. I really appreciate it, and it's something I never could envision when I was riding titbits, gathering up the cows in Blackbutt.
Well done, Roy. Stay with us, please. Now, probably the most important part. We're going to ask the Deputy Opposition Leader. We're trying to change that title too in the next 12 months. Deb Franklin going to come forward. And this is what we've all been waiting to see, the unveiling of the Roy Emerson statue. So, over to you guys. Do the honours, please.
I mean, over there. We'll get it later. Go around there. In there, Jean.
At the front, pull at the front. That's the one.
It's caught on his arm.
It's right there, just pull it.
Keep pulling. Keep pulling.
Help from your friends.
Hey! Now, have you got the bottle of champagne to break on it?
Now, Jean, take a couple.
Where are the strings?
You're moving too fast.
Yeah.
Roy, if you look at me in a big laugh. But hold it on his cheek, you Oh, that's a good one, eh?
Now you think Hazel's the dynamo. Well, he was the other dynamo that supported her all the way, and he's very passionate about tennis.
Can you stick an arm around in case
Could be a bit of a battle.
Sorry guys, can everyone... Good morning. It's about 4:30 now on the morning of the 18th of January 2017, and the sun's coming up on this morning, on the last time that the statue will be an unknown entity and entering into its new life.